Will the housing bubble ever stop? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, let's have a look at this article from the Financial Review and ask ourselves the question, will the housing bubble here in Australia ever stop? So, asset prices, not our mandate according to the RBA. It's not their mandate. It's not what the Reserve Bank Governor is worried about. Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe says asset price bubble concerns could occur with the amount of record low interest rate money in the system, but says even if they do, the central bank was not responsible for targeting such prices. So here in Australia, it's all about housing. It's all about housing. We'll jump over here. Let's have a look at CoreLogic. So here we have Sydney. This is the CoreLogic Home Property Value Index and the monthly indices. And we can see for the change year on year, Sydney is up 3.12%. Melbourne's down 2.76%. Brisbane is up 5.61%. Adelaide's up 6.83%. And remember, this is after we've had our first recession in 28 years. 28 years. Perth, 3.59. All the capitals, 2.11. Look at Darwin, 15.29%. Now you've got to understand some of these sectors, and I'll bring up this chart here to show you. Property prices tumbled a little bit, so they're regaining ground. But there you go. You know, there's even a whiff. If there's even a whiff of a potential correction to the property market here in Australia, look at all the intervention that the government has pulled out. They're going to be... We're in a two-speed economy. There are people here that are desperately waiting for a correction, not because they want to save money. Some of them, it's the only hope they have of getting into the market. You've got FOMO, fear of missing out pieces appearing all the time. Another one, I think 7 News going, first home buyers are the most likely to cop it. Because, you know, we're going to get another boom. First recession in 28 years. International migration is at a standstill. International students are non-existent. You've got huge portions of our workforce, employed people, supported by the government through JobKeeper. You've got people that are holding on to their homes simply because of mortgage holidays. Yet we have prices inflating in property. It's the Candlon effect, everyone. The Candlon effect refers to the change in relative prices resulting from a change in money supply. The change in relative prices occurs because the change in money supply has a specific injection point and therefore a specific flow path through the economy. Here in Australia, it's housing. We're obsessed with housing. Everything is about housing. You see courses online about getting into housing, buying housing, make your millions in housing. You've got people thinking, I remember we read this one article, a teacher who had 5 properties he was negative gearing and was at risk of losing it all because of the moratoriums on evictions. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that too. Because people couldn't pay rent. They were allowed to get out of it. He couldn't pay his bills. You've got the whole culture of rent vesting. Rent somewhere nice you want to live, buy somewhere cheaper to get the capital growth. Now, I know people love it when property goes up. They get angry if you criticize it. But the problem with this is it's a fundamental issue with our nation. And I know I refer to this website a lot, but you know what? Let's mix it up. Let's bring up another one as well. We'll bring up another one. We'll bring up the Harvard. This is the Observatory of Economic Complexity, guys. And it shows us that we're ranked, according to their data, 73rd in the world. If we bring up the Harvard Atlas, we're just as bad. Because we're 87th in the world there, according to these guys. Who do you prefer? Whose poison do you prefer? The problem is having such a focus on housing and property and that sector disincentivizes people from innovation, disincentivizes them from starting businesses. I mean, why would you want to jump through all the hoops? Deal with it all. Buy a property. Reap the capital gains rewards. And we've got a two-speed market in people who are wanting to get in, and also in units and houses as well. And the RBA, well, they don't care. Even units, look at them. They're all still, most of them are scraping up. And we're sitting now where inflation's at what? 0.9%? So this is the concern. Here's the question. Should asset prices be part of the RBA mandate? And how do we advocate for that if you think it is? The argument would be we need to reach out to our politicians who understand this and who appreciate it. We need to shift the Overton window. Dr. Lowe said this week he had no concerns of bubbles forming in housing or stock, despite pinning the official cash rate to 0.1% for up to 4 years and spending another $100 billion on bonds to drive down borrowing costs. We've got quantitative easing here in Australia, so the Reserve Bank is just going to start withering away at your purchasing power, bit by bit. Now, I prefer the old-fashioned definition of inflation. We simply look at the money supply. The bigger that gets, the less purchasing power you have. You may not experience it right away. It may take time for it to flow through the economy. But here, because it juices up housing so much, it decreases people's spending. You've got to save up more and more for a deposit. Then people took out their super. People got the government grants. I can't blame them. I can't blame people for jumping in. At the moment, I don't see particular concerns over stock market assets. Those concerns could emerge over time. It's the same with housing, Dr. Lowe told a parliamentary hearing on Friday. It is possible these low rates could generate unsustainable asset prices, but they haven't yet, Dr. Lowe said. However, he said it was not the responsibility of the Reserve Bank to put price caps on assets, and even if it was, it would be impossible to control. I can't say what level the ASX 200 would be too high, or at what point for the national house price index to become unsustainable. I can't control and should not be trying to control asset prices. That's not our mandate. I don't think it's sensible, and I don't think it's even possible, he said. We can have an influence on how much is borrowed. The level of asset prices based on many metrics does not seem high. That could change, but right today we don't have specific concerns. They're not worried. They're not worried, depending on how you measure it. This is it, guys. So if you're worried about struggling to get into housing, you're in a different class. Welcome to Australia, everyone. The lucky country, eh? Dr. Lowe also said he did not see any currency manipulation from other central banks. No, not at all. There is no sense of currency wars or currency manipulation here. None of us are sitting here targeting our exchange rates. We're not sitting here saying, how do we get our currency lower? We're asking, how do we get more jobs? See, this is the thing. The Keynesian reserve bankers, that they think that just by generating more, flooding the economy with money, hopefully increase the velocity of money and more money will move around. But the danger is, if we get bubbles forming, like the Candlelight effect is arguing for, I'll bring up this quote again. Say we get here's an argument. Say we get a bubble forming in the housing sector, even more so. Is that going to, improve the flow of money to create more jobs, or is it going to hinder it because more people need to stash away more? And then when there are concerns over just unknowns in the economy, people are worried about losing their jobs. JobKeeper is going to be pulled away. All of these other things are going to be pulled away. Honestly, I think they're going to become an election issue. That's the only chance Albo has of getting back in, is to make it an election issue, and to hope that ScoMo gets angry or, upsets some people. But if housing is still going up. Dr. Lowe said the Australian dollar was being driven by commodity prices and relative interest rates. The Australian dollar has not appreciated as much as we thought, he said. We would have thought it would have gone up more, and the fact that it has not is linked to our monetary policy. So, there we have it, guys. Will this housing bubble ever stop? Is it even possible to allow it to stop? It's ingrained in our culture, everyone. It is ingrained in Australian culture about, getting a house. You know? I was talking to a friend yesterday who was looking at buying something. You know, and he doesn't need to really worry too much about the price. He's in a very high-paid profession in the medical sector, so he's fine. But even he's worried if, you know, should I jump in or should I wait? The one thing he did say was, I'm keeping away from units, never going back there again. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Do you think our housing bubble will ever stop? Or do you think people will actually appreciate that it's even a bubble, or they don't even care? Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there's a few ways you can support us. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now.